All righty. We are joined today live with Sally. We've got Rita already with us. We've got Kimberly and Molly standing nearby and can't say. Hi, guys, and welcome to today's Clutter Corner Live. This is Angela Brown coming to you from Ask a House Cleaner. And today we're going to cover one of my favorite topics in the heat of the summertime, which is how to get rid of your winter coats. Now, one of the reasons that I love doing this in this time of year is because I get very little pushback from just about anybody. And the reason being is when it's 100 degrees outside, I don't have anybody that's like, no, I want to hang on to my winter coat. They're like, yes, let's get rid of those coats. And when you stop and you try on the coats, there's something magical about saying, yeah, I don't want to ever be that hot. So we're going to go through our closets today and we're going to get rid of some coats. And I want to just check in real quick with Rita and Sally and say, hi, how are you guys today?
Hey, I'm doing great, Angela. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. Tell us what you're up to and what brings you here today to our Clutter Corner.
Yeah, so I am definitely one of those people that will buy clothes and then just leave them in my closet forever and ever and ever and never think about getting rid of them. And when I saw the topic of coats, I thought about the coats I own, and I definitely have a lot of like really thick, heavy coats that I haven't worn in years. I've also like changed sizes by this point in my life, and so some coats are too small for me, some of them are too big for me, and I just shove them in the back of the closet and don't think about them. And this is giving me a good opportunity to actually get through that stuff.
Awesome. Well, I hope that we're able to answer some of your questions today and that we are able to maybe help you just make some decisions about whether to keep some or whether to let them go. So hopefully. Sally, how about you? And welcome back. Good. I think you're on mute. I can't hardly hear you.
Sorry, hi, how are you? How is
Hi, how
everybody?
are you?
Good. For me personally, I don't think I have too many coats, but then again, I don't know how many is too many too. I do have some coats. I have in two places in my downstairs coat closet and in my closet upstairs. So I have two places, and I do have some. And I would say, just like what Rita said, do have some like the sizes don't fit anymore, but it's just like you just hang on to it. One day maybe I lose weight again, I can fit again. So I do have those. Yeah. So welcome and come to the show today, and let's see what is your advice on things like that and how to get rid of the coats.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And today we're actually going to go through my coat closet. I've got a couple of coat closets actually, and I thought I had enough coats, and I didn't think I had too many. But I do go through my coats on a regular basis, and I say probably every other year is a really good time to do it. And just take a look at the coats you have, and I ask myself this question: is everything in my life still the same? And am I still doing the activities that I was doing when I was wearing the coats before? This rule also applies to coats that are in your closet, hoodies, jackets, rain gear, camping gear, athletic wear, stuff that's in your closets, bathrobes, pajamas. I mean, you can ask yourself this question at any step along the way. Is what's happening in my life right now a current representation of whatever this is that I'm working on? And today it happens to be coats. And it was really revealing to me when I started going through the coats. So I made a couple of videos along the way. I'm just going to go ahead and add these right now. That's going to shrink us here over to the side. And we'll walk through this together, and I will show you a little bit about what was happening in my life and just see if it makes any difference as I go. This is my coat closet, and like I say, I thought it was organized because I have space for everything. I got some junk up there on the top, and today's not the topic of clearing out the junk on the top, so we won't do that today. But what was interesting about this particular scenario, and we'll look at this again, as I went into my coat closet, the first thing that I noticed is there are some coats that absolutely I want to keep. And then there were some coats here in the middle that I was looking at, and I said to myself, um, I'm not really familiar with these coats. did, did you ever have coats that just appeared miraculously in your closet and you're like, whoa, where did those come from? So I decided to start taking a look at the coats one by one. And when I go through a closet And you can't always do this if it's someone else's closet that you're helping them declutter. But if it's your own closet, one of the things that I recommend is that you take the clothes out, or the coats out, and that you try them on. Do they still fit you like they once did? And then the next thing is, um, are they clean? Do they have any stains on them? Do they have any holes in them? Are there anything hiding in the pockets? And then once you try the coats on, how do I feel about this? And oh yeah, I still love this coat. This coat makes me feel really good about myself, or it's really comfortable, or what have you. And in this particular thing that we're looking at right now, there are two coats. And the other coat belongs to my husband. And I don't know at what point of our lives we turned into those couples where you buy like matching coats. I promised that would never happen to me, but we bought these cool jacket shells at Costco, and they were like 15 or 20 bucks a piece or something. They were inexpensive, but they're great winter wear for where we live, which is in North Carolina. So what I'm doing right now is I've decided to keep the one that's for me. And I don't know why. Like I said, we like to dress alike, and it's never intentional. uh, I'll run out to the car and I'll get in the car and I'm like, whoa, we're wearing the same coat. And we have a couple different kinds of coats because they're cool, but I don't know why we always seem to end up choosing the same types of coats. So I'm pulling this coat out of the closet when I realize suddenly there's another coat just like it. So here's a Pat and an Angela version of this same coat. So I'm checking the coats for myself. Do I still want to keep my version of it? And then I'm going to check the coat for him, but I don't have permission to get rid of his coats. So if I'm going to get rid of one of my coats, I'm only getting rid of mine. And so, yes, I've decided to keep this one, but I'm going to double check the coat that he has, and I'm going to see if by chance it's stained, or if the zipper is broken, or if there's just anything that I need to kind of double check. And then I can either choose to have it mended. I can choose to take it to the dry cleaner and have it cleaned. I can, if it's washable in the washing machine, I can choose to wash it. I'm just kind of checking it out to make sure that it still fits our lifestyle. And these are really good lightweight, kind of like rain jackets or hiking jackets. And so I think I'm going to keep them after trying them on. And so then these will just go back inside the closet. Now, my approach is I'm pulling out the easiest coats first. And if you're pulling out a closet and you're doing something like this, my suggestion is that you start with the easiest coats first. So I pulled out the ones that we like, because these are the ones that we wear together. These are coats that I'm most familiar with. So I started with the easiest ones first. Now, one of the things that you're seeing here is I just swapped out the coat hanger. I took it off one coat hanger, and then I found a nicer coat hanger in my closet. So I just upgraded my coat to a nicer coat hanger. This is a heavy, durable coat hanger that's going to support my coat. So I'm happy with these two coats. I'm going to put these back at the back of the closet, and I'm going to put them all the way at the far right. By doing that, that frees up the rest of the space inside the closet. And one of the things that I want to highlight here is, instead of pulling out all of the coats or the jackets at once and making a great big pile on my table, if I get called away, if the phone rings, if someone shows up at my door, this happens a lot when we start decluttering. You end up having this big pile that you never get around to finishing. But if you're making a decision one coat at a time and you're only pulling out one coat at a time, if I get interrupted right now, I can drop what I'm doing and I only have one coat to put away. Does that sort of make sense? What I'm looking at here in this particular one, this is a coat I've never seen before. I don't know where this came from. I'm having a hard time figuring out who it belongs to, where it came from, what it is. And so I'm going to set this one aside because maybe it belongs to my husband. I tried it on and it didn't fit me, but we don't live in an area where we would ever have a coat that's this heavy, and this has a big hood on it, and it has all of its buttons, it has all of its snaps. It looks like it's in fairly new condition, and it looks like an expensive, really nice, durable coat. I just don't know to whom it belongs, and I don't know why it's in my closet. There's this really weird thing that happened to me a couple years ago. I opened the closet and I found this really awesome coat, and it was not mine. And I tried it on and it fit perfectly. So I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know whose coat this is. So I started asking everybody. I started asking employees and independent contractors and siblings, people that had been over to my house. I'm like, hey, is this your coat? And no one ever claimed it. So I found this awesome coat that fit me perfectly. It was like a lightweight jacket. It was like one of those poof jackets that had like lightweight sleeves. And then I wore it for like 2 years every day during the wintertime. So if it belongs to any of you, I have your coat. uh, it, all right, I've got some comments over here. He likes to wear your polo tops as well. Yes, that's so funny. A few weeks ago, we were out and about, and I went to take a selfie of us, and I realized that we were both also dressed alike. We both had twin polos on. We just turned into that couple where we like think alike. All right, so I am going through my closet, and here's another Costco coat. I love these Costco coats, and we've stopped buying them. We put a limit on them, I guess, a couple of years ago because we said like, hey, we have enough. I know we've got 3 or 4 of them. Look, it just makes me delighted to wear that. I just love that. Yay! Um, and so I'm going to keep this. And so it's okay to keep a coat. If you take a coat out and you're like, I'm not wearing it right now because obviously it's July or August. We don't wear them right now in the summertime, but I know I'm going to wear it this fall. And I'm looking at the last couple of years, and my lifestyle changed a little bit over the last couple of years because of COVID. And so I didn't really go out and about during COVID. And so it's not really fair to say, oh, let me get rid of all my winter coats because I didn't use them the last 2 years. I may not use them this year. But what I did and what changed for me, and what's one of the big determining factors, check this out. I've got a coat here. It's brand new. It's never been worn. This was a coat that a client gave me. And so oftentimes they have, what do you call them? Like ad specialties where they've got their logo on them and they're like, hey, here, have a coat on us. This is a really, really nice coat. And as I try it on, one of the things that's interesting about this is it's way too warm for where I live. I would never wear a coat like this um, for where I live. But as I'm putting it on, I'm trying to think, who do I know that's this size? This is a brand new coat and a very expensive coat. It's fully lined. It's got little pockets all up and down the sleeves. It's got one of those little Velcro things that makes the hands fit tight. So if you were, snow shoveling or something, you're not going to get snow inside your sleeve. So what I decided to do instead of just donating these or getting rid of these, I decided that I was going to try to give them away first. And so the cool thing is I'm making a video right now. So I can send a link to my video to a friend or a relative, and I can say, hey, I've got a couple of coats here. This is what they look like. And they just saw me with the coats. I can even just click out that snippet or say, go to whatever the minute number is. Is this a coat that you would like? And if it is, I'll drop it in a box to you. You can have it for free. It's a brand new coat that has a tag on it. So there might be somebody that would be able to use it. I'm just going to fold it up and set it aside so that we can access this at a later time. All right, so I'm looking over here at the questions while I'm still going through my closet. Trying winter gear on in the summer can help. It makes those somewhat itchy items extra irritating and easier to decide upon. That is so true. That is so true. And one of the reasons that I like to do this at this time of year is because it clears out space. And if you have a full closet and you're headed into the fall and the winter, what you've created space, what you've done is you've created a new norm. And you're able, wow, that's a huge coat. Check this out. This is a coat I got from the airlines, and I have no idea how I have such a big coat because that never did fit me. But that's just that's a huge, huge coat. And so again, I'm checking all the pockets, and maybe this belonged to my husband. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set this aside and let him decide if he wants this. If he doesn't, I know a couple people that might be able to use this that live in cold weather. And so, who do you know that you could just give it away to? And then, if not, who do you know? Because I'm in North Carolina. Nobody in North Carolina is probably going to wear this coat. But it might be good for someone in a different area. And so, who do you know that you can give the coats away to? And then also, there are lots of coat drives where they'll ship them across the country to Boston and New York and New Hampshire and Rhode Island and all those really fun cold cities in the wintertime. So we can make sure that people get some coats. Sveta says, hi everyone. Angela, thank you so much for your videos. Yay. Thank you so much for watching. I'm super glad that you're here. And someone says dancing in a huge coat. Hilarious. I know, I'm having fun. This is not a stressful project. This is actually a lot of fun because you get to make decisions about stuff that once served you and then stuff that no longer serves you. So here's a fun jacket. I don't know if it's mine. I don't know if it's my husband's. I want to try the coats on and I want to make a decision. Does this still fit me for this point of my life? That is not my coat. Those arms are just drowning me out. There's a giant that lives in my house. So as I make decisions here, I'm deciding, do I want to hang on to this? And this looks like one of those shell jackets that we bought from Costco. And it's plain black. It doesn't have any designs or anything on it. And so I'm looking for, there should be one for me as well if we bought twin coats. I'm not saying the twin, I'm just saying that coat that looks like it belongs to my husband. So without any other decisions, I'm going to put this one back in the closet and I'm going to say yes to this. But the coats that I'm not sure of, I'm pulling out and I'm setting aside on the sofa. And then I'm going to ask him to make a decision on those. Now, I had a job with the airlines for about 15 years. And so they gave me a lot of hoodies and coats and things like that. As they never gave me a watch or anything, but they gave me gifts that were like, hey, here's a hoodie. And I love these hoodies because I wear them a lot when I go running, and they've been really fun for me. I'm now checking the zippers. I'll check the pockets to make sure that these all fit. And all during the winter time, like instead of a bathrobe or something, you can find me running around my house in like jeans or a big hoodie like this. I just love the hoodies, and I might even fall asleep in them. They're great for watching TV and stuff. Just kind of a great big oversized hoodie. And this one stinks. Ew. I may have gone running and then somebody just hung that up in the closet. So we're going to pull that out and we're going to wash that. And this is another good time to decide. Here's another one of those airline coats. This one is a medium. It's got a tag on it as well. So we're going to go ahead and make a decision that, again, it's really too warm for where we live. And I no longer have that job at the airline, so I don't need to be out and about wearing a big heavy coat, even if it were really cold outside. Um, Deb says she also keeps an extra in the camper. You never know. I think in a camper, that's probably a really good bet to have an extra coat in the camper. And it's possible that you might even have some coats in your car. So we'll take a look in the car before we're done here, and we'll just see, are there any coats lying around and kind of what that looks like for us. But I'm checking the pockets. I'm checking every area of the coat because I don't want to donate a coat that's ripped or torn or that has stains on it that would end up in you know, a garbage bin or something. I want to make sure that the stuff that we're donating is quality stuff and that it's worthy of donating. So if you have stuff that's ripped or torn or just you've had it for 20 years or something, this is a really good time to take a look at that. Rita, how old is your oldest coat?
Um, Thinking back, I would have to say probably middle school. I probably have a coat from like 8th grade. And I'm 24 now, so it's been like a decade probably.
And so we have a coat that's that old.
Well, back then I bought a lot of oversized coats and oversized jackets. It was just like a style, I guess. And so I had this one, and also like my family used to travel a lot more, and we used to live up in like New York and stuff. And
Uh-huh.
so when we would travel, we would like bring these giant coats with us, but it was really the only time we were wearing them. But it's just this huge puffy coat. Like I can picture it in my head. It's like a purple puffy coat with fur around the hood. And
Oh,
I've never,
fun.
yeah, it's a fun coat, but I've never worn it in North Carolina, which is where I am now. So
So, you've never worn it, and that's what, 10 years?
yeah, outside of traveling to really cold climates, no. And I haven't even traveled somewhere that cold in years.
But yet you still have it. Do you think that you'll ever travel again and ever wear that coat, or are you at a new place in your life where you would like a different or a more modern or a more updated version of your coat?
Yeah, I mean, now that we've talked about this topic, I'm definitely going to go home and probably donate some coats. I also like moved out and I have a new house, but a lot of my old coats are still at my parents' house. And so I have coats in like all these different places, and I don't want to burden them with having those coats in their closet that no one is touching. So I definitely am probably going to get rid of them. And my style has changed a lot too.
I don't have any of your coats in my closet, do I?
No.
Is that one coat from you? I still don't know who it's from. I'm asking everybody. I'm like, hey, is this your coat?
Yeah, I don't recognize it.
I like I said, I ended up with a coat that I'd never seen. And I think this coat that I'm looking at right here is a great big trench coat, and I think it belongs to my husband. I know that when we first got married, we traveled a lot in the winter times. I would go do training and stuff all over the world, and so I'd be in like Prague or Budapest or Hungary or something at different times of the year. And in the wintertime, it is bitter cold. And I discovered during COVID, and this is one of the reasons I'm actually going through my closets today. I discovered Zoom, and I know that now I have a choice. I don't have to go to Hungary in the dead of the winter. So, yay! Why would I do that if I can go in, July or August and not go in the dead of the winter? Which means I don't need great big trench coats. So I have a big trench coat, and it's been a few years since I've actually worn it. And this one wasn't mine. This one belonged to my husband, and I don't know that he's worn his either. And so while we have these really nice trench coats that are, I don't know if they're made of wool or whatever they are, they're just really nice, but we're not wearing them. And so I would say it's probably safe. I'm going to get rid of mine, but it's probably safe to put mine aside and let my husband make a decision about his, because those could go to an area where people use those in the wintertime, either for business or what have you. What I'm looking at here is a suede jacket. This is a jacket I've never seen before. I'm noticing right now it's still new with tags. My husband doesn't wear suede. I don't wear suede. I've never seen this jacket. I don't know where it came from. I'm going to try it on and see if it fits me. Maybe someone is delivering jackets to my closet as gifts. I don't know. This is not for me. It's actually too big for me. And so I'm really perplexed at where this jacket came from because, like I say, it's suede. I've never in 20 years known my husband to wear a suede jacket. So if this is his, um, surprise. So I'm going to pull this aside and I'm going to let him make a decision on it, because unless one of the those of you that are watching claim it, I don't know whose coat this is. Question: do you guys have coats in your closet and you don't know where they came from? Right? Today's the day to have that conversation. Uh, N Nalsor R says, my husband has chosen to keep a few coats, but we've gone a couple of seasons since and he has yet to wear them. But he gets irritated when I bring up rethinking his decisions. And that's a really, really good point, because I'm trying on this jacket here, and you see this one is also new with tags, and the sleeves were rolled up. It's like somebody tried this on and it didn't fit, so they rolled up the sleeves. That's way too big for me. Um, whose coat is this? And it's brand new with tags. So again, there is a new coat that I've never seen, and it's extra, extra large. So this wasn't a gift. And if somebody did gift this to me, you got the wrong size. So I'm going to pull this out as well, and I'm going to let him make a decision on it, because this is a leather coat. And as long as I've known my husband, I've never known him to wear a leather coat either. So there's a suede and a leather coat, new with tags, in my coat closet that I've never seen before. I don't know how they got there, and I don't need to keep them. They don't belong to me. I don't know who they belong to, but they don't belong to me. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a decision today. And and any laser R brought up, to get rid of somebody else's stuff, it's better if they are in on the conversation and just say, hey, we can always put them back in the closet. But just make a decision. Take a look at this and see, is this something that you want to keep? Is this yours? Did you buy this? Is this not belong to you? Does this belong to someone else? Is this a gift for someone? Like, tell me more. What's going on here? And it's not because there's judgment. This is a leather coat that I wore, and I've worn this for 15 or 20 years. This just lasts forever. It still looks fantastic. I love this coat, and I haven't worn it in a couple of years, but I'm going to decide today to keep this coat just because I do have a history with this coat. I'm very nostalgic about it. Like I said, it's been around the world with me numerous times. I'm checking all the buttons. I'm checking the pockets. Everything is in still top notch. All the stitching is like a-okay. It might last forever. So it's the only leather coat that I have. I'm going to hang on to it for a little bit longer. So one of the good things that we can do is, if you stumble on something that you love that you're not ready to let go of today, there's no rush. And one of the things that you notice at the beginning when we started today, the coats were all in one closet. And so it's not like they're strewn about, like they're in the bedroom over hanging over chairs or, in places where they shouldn't be. Was actually a place for all the coats. And so as I'm trying on all the coats and I'm making decisions about them, I could still keep them. I could still keep every one of them today, and there's no harm, no foul, because there's actually room to store these coats. It's just the process of going through them. I can probably get rid of, I don't know, 5, 6, 8, 10 coats. And the question is, how many coats can you get rid of? If you have coats in your closet, this was a long trench coat that I wore around the world numerous times for many years. And there is stuff in the pockets. There's a lipstick with dark red lipstick. And should I put it on? Should I put it on? No, it's old. Let's not do
Yeah,
that.
no.
Gross. And if you find a piece of gum or something like unchewed gum in a pocket, don't eat it either. Or a piece of candy, it's really old. Don't do it. Don't do it. I know y'all have done it. You've opened a drawer and you find like a piece of gum and you're like, I wonder if this is still any good. So you eat it, although it's probably like 5 years old. Don't do it. No, don't do it. So I love this coat. This is like one of those really big New England coats, but I'm probably going to get rid of it because I don't wear it. I probably will never wear it again. And now that I've discovered I can do Zoom in the wintertime instead of going to Hungary or Prague in the wintertime, I probably won't. So I'm going to get rid of this coat today and let it go on its way and someone else can use it. So the question is, what are you doing in your life right now that's a little bit different that changes the necessity for you having some of the things that you had in the past? Sally, let me toss that one over to you. Um,
Mhm.
what's changed in your life that might be changing some of the reasons why you have either the coats you have or the hoodies you have?
The coat, the oldest coat I think I still have in my closet, maybe about 20 years old. I mean, that old. I used to live in upstate New York, so back then I bought quite a few coats to use. I mean, for the winter, there is a lot colder than North Carolina. And when I moved out here, I always keep it just in case they will have heavy snow, but they're never really cold enough. So over the years, I do donated some, but I still do have some in the closet. And I have this mindset like, oh, it's a good piece. I mean, it look good, so I maybe keep for my kids. I have that mindset. Like I just like difficult to give it away. The good one, you see, I always feel like I can keep it for someone else to use it in the family.
How long will you hang on to them, or will you make a decision about getting rid of those at a later time?
I think the best, I think after talking to them, maybe I go back and ask my kids whether they want it because in my mindset, it's good piece, but for them, maybe it's not. So
Uh
yeah,
huh.
I will go home and ask them whether they still like it, would they wear it? If not, yeah, I will donate it away. Because like I live in North Carolina now is the weather is never cold enough. And then on top of that, we tend to wear layering a lot more than one thick piece of, I mean, a coat outside. So it's not necessary in a way than
Um, I,
taking the closet space.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because I found myself layering. We've done a lot of outdoor projects during the winter time, like if we're cleaning a customer's house, for example, and then they're like, "Oh no, we're sick. You can't come today." One of the things that we offer is we say, "Hey, well, listen, if you're sick, there's an issue. You may end up going to the hospital. And so if you have to go to the hospital, would you like me to stay in instead of cleaning? I can shovel your walk, I can clear off your deck, I can clear off your porch so that if you have to make an emergency exit, then you're getting out to safety. And if somebody has to come in and check on you, they're not tripping over ice or snow or what have you." So a lot of times during the wintertime, we'll just grab a snow shovel and we'll work outside for the day. And so during those times, it would be easy to say, "Oh yes, I need one of those big winter coats," right? But what I find is once I start working, then I get too hot. I'm like, I'm so hot inside this big coat that I start taking off the coat and then I freeze because I only had the coat. So in order to prevent that, I started like wearing those multiple layers, like you mentioned. And so for
Mhm.
me, I usually dress with like two pair of thermal underwear pants and two of those long sleeve, like wick away athletic shirts that I put underneath my blue shirt. And so that way I'm still kind of like in my uniform, but I've got like layers on underneath it. And then in the event that I get really warm, I can put like a hoodie or a jacket on and then another jacket or another coat. And then as I start warming up, take off one jacket, take off the next
Mhm.
jacket, take off the hoodie, take off one of the layers of, and I've actually done this where I've gone into the restroom and I've taken off like one of the layers of thermal underwear and one of the bottom layers, like the pants, just because it was so hot. And then that way I'm still dressed for the weather and I'm still, we talk about personal protective gear. I'm still dressed for being outside, but it was in layers, not just one coat that now I'm at a disadvantage because I'm too hot to wear it and it's too cold to not have another layer on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
And so in North Carolina, and we have really mild weather here. I saw the saddest thing this last year. It started snowing one day, and there was like this really light dusting of snow. I mean, it was so light that it was going to be gone in a minute.
Yeah.
And I heard some talking out my window, and I look out the window, and there's this family of 4 kids and the parents. And they got like their winter coats on, and I think they had Rita's coat on because it was like one of those puffy coats with the big fur around the top. And they had like gloves on, and they had like these toboggans, and they came to the intersection where we live. And the kids are like, well, maybe there's snow down that way. And they were like looking for snow. And I was like,
Oh,
oh, that is so sad. Because like the snow is going to be gone in a minute, right? It's like this
yeah.
light dusting. And in North Carolina, we have snow and everyone runs to the windows and they're like, ah, snow. And then within a second or two, it's gone. And it's not like other areas where there's snow for 5 and 6 months out of the year. I mean, it's just, we don't live in a place like that.
Yeah.
So, um, somebody here says, thank you for your videos. Do you have a video on how to declutter in preparation for moving? That's probably another topic for another time. And we have lots of opportunities here on Clutter Corner Live to talk about different issues like that. So I want to come back to that and do a whole show on stuff that you would declutter in the process of moving. I really want to focus today on winter coats and jackets because again, this is a really great time of the year to do this. Like I said, I don't get any pushback. If you're just joining us right now and you missed the first part, during the summertime when it's 100 degrees outside, it's really easy for people to let go of coats they're not wearing or coats they didn't wear last year. And we can usually say, "Did you wear this last year?" And they're like, "No, no, I didn't." Is it okay if we let it go on its way? I will leave links in the notes below about places that you can donate your winter coats. I know that every year there are coat drives where there are homeless people. There are people that are going through transitions where they might be moving from a place like North Carolina to a place like Boston, and just the moving costs alone are prohibitive, and they don't have $100 for a new parka. And then there are people like myself who have a whole bunch of coats that we're not wearing, that we're not using, that we'll probably never wear again. And if we're like Sally, she's got a coat in her closet that's been there for 20 years. I love the fact that she's admitting that and that she showed up today, because today might be the day that she makes a decision about whether or not to let that go, right? Does she need to
Yeah.
hang on to it for another 20 years?
No.
Sally, what's the answer? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I try to get rid. The problem is when you have the space, it just sit there and you don't look at it and you forget about it. You feel like it's fine, they can sit there. But yeah, talking to you, yeah, sometimes we had to open up this closet and really look at them. What is we still need, what that I don't need anymore, and what I can donate away, what I still can wear. I should do like how you do the whole coat closet, try piece by piece to see what I still can wear, what I have to donate, thing like that. Yeah. I never look at the closet. That's why you just close it. That's it. Forget about it.
Well, it's interesting. There are often different places in our houses that we store coats. And it's easy to have a coat closet, but what happens if you have like multiple areas where there are coats? Now, this is a little mudroom, and I have these little reflective vests that I wear when I go running at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning so that I don't get hit by cars. And so this is not a coat. It's not technically a jacket, but I'm going to make a decision about it today because I'm in this area. And so it's easy to try it on. And now this is the one that my husband wears when he goes running, and he's much bigger than I am. And so I'm trying it on now. I'm checking to make sure that all the reflective stuff is still intact. Sometimes after you wash it hundreds of times, like the reflective stuff peels off. So it's a little bigger than my comfort zone, but I can tell that it's still in great shape. The buttons or the snaps are all still there. Mine had Velcro on it. The Velcro is all still in working order. And so then it's not a matter of do I want to keep it? It's just is this the right product for us at this point of our lives? And we're still using them. And so yes, I'm going to keep the reflective vests, and we just throw them in the washing machine. And so there's no, I don't need to put them away for winter or whatever, because we wear them year round. They actually go on top of our winter gear. Here's another hoodie that I do wear when I go running. And so I'm imagining myself running right now. Is it still as comfortable as I remember? I know we had a comment here, by trying it on, you can determine whether or not it's scratchy, or, maybe you don't like it as well as you used to. I still like this as much as I ever did. And so I've got a couple hoodies here. I'm a big fan of hoodies in the wintertime because I just like the layers, like Sally said. It prevents me from wearing a bigger coat, but then I can switch gears really quickly and still stay in my cleaning uniform. Even if I'm out and about, then I can like cover up my cleaning uniform. Ah, I got tissue in the pocket. What? Um, but then I can hide my cleaning uniform, and if I go into a store, then no one knows it's me. It's my disguise. Ta-da! All right, so I think I'm going to keep these hoodies. I really like hoodies. Do you guys have hoodies that you want to get rid of, or do you guys like hoodies? Rita, you're smiling. Tell me about your hoodies. Do you have hoodies?
Yeah, so I graduated college 2 years ago, but in college, every single club, every single organization, they all make their own custom merch, their own hoodies. They'll have like the club name on them or like your university name, and college merchandise in general is huge. And I have so many hoodies that all say like South Carolina or like all these different little things that are just variations of the same name. And I definitely have too many of them. But I do use them when I go running sometimes, or I go to the gym. I just use it as a cover up over my clothes. Um, but I definitely think I want to get rid of some of them just because I have favorites. And so I always gravitate towards those same couple of favorites that are comfier. And then another pile of them will get untouched and left at the bottom of the drawer because I just don't reach for them.
So a lot of times, and that's interesting that you bring that up. A lot of times, there is customer merch where it's got the logo on it, and they give you their merch. A lot of times, if we're doing client projects and we're on site with a customer and they give us, like they've given us a hoodie or they've given us a coat or they've given us something that has their logo on it, we will wear it out of like, hey, we're on site today with this client and we're wearing their logo. We blend in with them, and so it's not that they're asking us to. Especially if we're independent contractors, they can't ask us to. But if they give it to us as a gift, it's like cool. If you show up and you wear their like, hey, I'm supporting you in your cause. This particular one also has a logo on it, and so I'm gonna keep these. There's one coat here, and I'm looking at the sizes. This one is extra large. Whose code is this? And this looks like, and this was interesting as I went through this, because this looks like it matches one of the coats in the other closet that I thought was like one of those twin coats, like the husband-wife coat, except they're both my husband's size. So now the mystery is, where are my coats? Because my coats are missing, and there are two husband-size coats. So I'm back in this closet, and I decided, since I was going to do the thing with the vest, let's go ahead and make a decision about the vests today. So this is another one of those vests that I already have one that I just tried on a couple minutes ago, and it's lighter weight than this one. And if I'm running, I want less weight. So I'm gonna donate this one. I don't need to have lots and lots of reflector vests because I can only wear one at a time. And this one is really heavy and it's not breathable. So it's cute, and it's still effective. It still has like reflective stuff on it. Maybe there's somebody that works outside in construction that could use this, or maybe there's another runner that would like to have this. But I'm going to add this to my donation pile because I already have one. And like I said, I only need one because I only wear one reflective vest at a time. And I don't know why they last forever. So it's not heavy duty wear and tear or anything. You just wear it when you're running and then you throw it in the washing machine. So the reflective vests I've had for years, and they do last like 15 or 20 years. They last forever. And so the one I have is going to last for a long time. And if I ever need another one, I can always go out and buy another one. But right now, I'm going to get rid of 2 of the 3 that I have, and I'm going to keep the one that I have, and we're going to save the big orange one there for my husband because I know he's going to use that. Let's run out to the car and let's see if we have any in the car because I'm afraid I do. Ah! I got them on the back seat. How many of you guys have coats in your car that are just sitting there? Ah! Here's the missing coat. I just tried on the husband's coat. Now, this is my coat. So my coat is in the car. That's what happened. There you go. Yes, and it's so hot outside. It really is about 100 degrees outside. And here I am standing in the driveway trying on coats. Like, what on earth? My neighbors are like, Angela has lost her mind. Check it out. She's trying coats on in the winter, in the middle of the summertime. Sunflower Shine says, I have such a hard time getting rid of jackets and coats. I live in the panhandle of Texas and the weather is crazy. It's medium. You guys buy coats at Costco? Drop a note in the comments if you guys buy coats at Costco. I have a feeling that we probably have some Costco folks that buy Costco coats. Okay. Yep, I'm checking all the pockets. So now here are the 2 missing coats that match the 2 missing coats for my husband, right? That we saved for him. One was in the mudroom and one was in the closet. Both of mine are inside my car. And I probably carted them out there not knowing the other one was in my car. And this is actually my husband's coat. So I've got 3 coats here and I'm looking at it. It's got like food or something on it. That's going to have to go through the washing machine. Now's a good time to wash the coats because it's July. We're not going to be wearing them anytime soon. You don't want to be washing them in the dead of the winter time because you might need them again in a minute. But in July, nobody's going to be wearing these. So I can take these all inside. Look how huge that is. Yep, I'm going to take all these inside. I'm going to wash these. I'm going to check the pockets right now to make sure there are no holes in the pockets. Make sure there's nothing in the pockets that can't go through the washing machine. And again, I'm double checking to make sure when I tried those on, I'm double checking for size. Do these still fit us? And are they ripped or torn, or is there anything that I need to know? And so we're good. I'm going to take these inside and wash them, and then we're done with our coat area. So today what we looked at is we looked at our coats. We looked at some jackets. We looked at some hoodies and some reflective gear. And I've made a couple of decisions about what I'm going to get rid of. And inside the closet itself, I have these coats that I'm keeping. Those are the twin coats, the husband and wife versions of the coats. Who knew we would become that couple?
So
And then
cute.
these are the ones that we are giving away. I've got some coat hangers there. We'll talk about those in another time. These are the coats that are going to be for my husband to decide between. And these coats here are the ones that the parkas and the reflective vests that I've decided I have permission to toss and get rid of. So that's about 6 coats that I have right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 coats that I'm going to get rid of, along with a couple of reflective vests. And so that's my commitment for today. And those are my personal closets. So I went through my coat closet and I have a coat rack as well that didn't have any coats on it. I just reserved the coat rack for guests. And then when the guests aren't looking, I'm guessing I take them and I hide them inside the closet. And then later after they're gone and they forget they brought it, I wear it. I think it's mine. Who knows, right? Apparently I've ended up with somebody's coats in my closet and I don't know whose they are. So if those 2 coats, the suede and the leather coat, are yours, please let me know. If those parkas are yours, let me know. And if you're the person that donated, I'm going to say you donated it. That one shell coat, the puffy coat with the sleeves that I've been wearing for 2 years, if that actually belongs to you, I'm just going to say thank you at this point because you don't want it back. I've been wearing it like every day for 2 years during the wintertime. So thank you very much. All right. Do we have any questions before we let you guys get back to your day? No one is this thorough and will always give the manual and then some. Oh, thank you so much. That's so nice of you to say. Um, I have helped a lot of people over the years go through their stuff. And a lot of times it comes down to having a conversation about it, walking yourself through, why do I still have this? Am I still doing this at this time of my life? Do I still need this? If I could get rid of a coat today, how many could I get rid of? When I opened the closets today, I honestly didn't think I'd get rid of anything because we've gone through them a lot over the last, every couple of years we go through all the coat closets. This is considered a special project if you're a house cleaner and you upsell services to someone. When you upsell the service, it's helpful to have them nearby so that they can try on their own coats. But you can walk them through and ask them questions. Is it safe to assume that you're not going to go to Prague anymore in the dead of the winter? Right now, I say it's safe. I don't want to do that. I can Zoom a call in and then I can go visit whomever I got to go visit in June or July, right? I'm going to say that's safe to assume. Yeah, I can get rid of the long trench coats. I did not wear them during COVID. It's been like 2 years. I don't see myself. I don't have any Prague dates in the middle of the wintertime this year. I don't think I'm going this year either. I think it's safe to assume I can get rid of that coat. Rita, how about you? Is it safe to assume you can get rid of some of yours?
Yeah, definitely. And one other thing I wanted to bring up that's pretty popular among my friends right now is reselling their old clothes. There's tons of websites online like Poshmark and Depop, and even like Facebook Marketplace, which is really user friendly, where they'll just like list their coats or shirts or anything in general that are still in good condition and be able to resell them even just for $5 or $10. But if you're selling a lot of items, that money adds up.
That's a really great point. Are you going to sell yours or are you going to donate it? And I'm thinking of
Um,
the puff coat with the fur around it that you haven't worn in many years.
yeah, well, that one might be a little too old to resell, in my opinion, but I've definitely thought about it. I know even around here, at least, there are a lot of local thrift stores where you can kind of just bring a bundle of clothes and they'll take a look at it and offer you a certain amount of money for it. So I'm kind of thinking about doing that with a lot of my old clothes and coats. Just pop by the store, see what they're willing to give me, and since I probably was going to donate them anyway, I might as well take the cash for them. So.
Got it. Do either of you have experience doing like eBay or selling stuff with some of the different online stores? I know there's one that's called like I forget the name of it. I'll leave links in the show notes, but it's like one of these online marketplaces where you list your goods and then people buy them from you, and they're used, but they're like gently used, or they still have a lot of life in them, or something like that. Do either of you have experience with that?
No.
I haven't sold, but I have bought used items before, and I've generally always had a good experience. You can usually leave reviews on the seller themselves, and so when you go to buy from someone, you can kind of look at those reviews and make sure like this is a legit person. They've sold to people before. There haven't been issues, so there are safeguards in place for that stuff.
I have given a lot of stuff away. Early when eBay first came out, and I say when it first came out, it was like 20 years ago or something. I remember somebody telling me about eBay, and I got so excited. I was like, "Oh, this is so cool! This is like a new revolution. Have an online auction or something." And I know that over the last several years, I've become just too busy, and so maybe the intention at one point was I was going to sell stuff on eBay, and now I'm just like, hey, let's just get rid of it. If somebody wants it, it's theirs. And one of the things that I've had really great success with, especially with a lot of the people that we've worked with over the years, is taking a picture of it and then going outside and putting it next to your mailbox and taking a picture of, like, away from the house, a picture of the mailbox number and the house and the item sitting in the driveway, so that you can put an ad or a notice like, hey, this is free on like nextdoor.com. And so when people drive by, they're like, oh, I'm looking for that house. And they see the corner of the house, they see the mailbox number and the thing sitting in the driveway. One of the things that we found most helpful, if you're going to do that, and this is if you're giving it away for free, we always use the phrase first come, first serve. And so that means don't call me, don't text me back, don't ask if it's still available, any of those things. Drive by. We just gave you the address. Drive by. If you want it, pick it up and take it with you. If you drive by and you see this house in this mailbox and there's nothing there, it's gone, right? And I think the longest we've ever had anybody put something out there and wait was 26 minutes. But like boom, it's gone. So
Wow.
if I know it's very cool. If you're up for just getting rid of stuff, putting it at the end of your driveway has been enormously successful for us. And I hope I'm not feeding a frenzy of people who just collect weird stuff. But I know that we've done it with everything from like cardboard boxes that people wanted to use for moving to empty milk cases. We've done it with all kinds of things like envelopes and adding machines, old adding machines. Who knew that somebody would come pick that up? We've done it with dishwashers and washing machines
Wow.
and school desks. And you know those little toy cars where like it's got like a little motor in it and toddlers drive them and it's like
Mm.
their first little car or whatever, and eventually they grow out of the car. We've gotten rid of all kinds of things like that just by putting them on the curb and either a sign that says free or just snapping a picture of it and adding it to nextdoor.com. So that's also an option. All right. Do we have any other questions here before we let you guys get back to your day? I've loved spending time with you guys today. This is so much fun. Someone says you may want to donate to the homeless. That is so true. And as long as they're taking donations, that's a really great endeavor because in the wintertime, especially, they don't carry winter coats and blankets and stuff with
Yeah.
them all during the year. But when it starts getting cold outside, it gets really cold. And so donating to the homeless, thank you for bringing that up. That's a lovely idea. And yes,
Mhm.
um, here's a note. It says, I'm a former vintage dealer, but I've had little to no luck with modern stuff as far as consigning. Things need to be unique, desirable in fashion, or of a big name designer. That's really, really good information. That's good to know. I know that a lot of the stuff that we've consigned over the years has been like antique furniture and stuff like that, where they will always take that from us. I don't know why,
Mhm.
but they've always taken our antique furniture. Um, but this is really interesting. No luck with modern stuff, and it might just because there's a lot of modern stuff. I don't know. Um, does anybody have experience with consigning modern stuff that would like to add a comment or two? I want to honor that if that's the case. When you donate to Goodwill, but then they sell it at high prices. You know what? That's interesting. Yeah, you can donate it, and I love the fact that they will take donations and they're going to try to resell it at a higher price in order that they can make a profit to stay in business. And I know some people don't like selling stuff or donating stuff using Goodwill because they say that Goodwill is not a nonprofit organization and that they make money from it. I've heard rumors about people that don't feel crazy about donating stuff with Goodwill. I like to look at it like this. If they're accepting stuff and I have stuff to give, it's going to help somebody somewhere and I don't want it anymore. And so it's keeping them in business and that keeps another avenue of donation possibilities open to me and all of the people that I work with. And so we still donate to Goodwill in spite of the fact that whatever their antics are, whatever their code of ethics is, I don't know, and I'm not here to judge them, but they are an outlet that regularly accepts donations from us. And so we regularly go on Saturday inside the Hoarding World. If you're not a member of Hoarding World, come join us. It's a Facebook group that we have, and every week on Saturday is like our big donation day. So if you've been donating and collecting stuff throughout the week, we love to take before and after pictures like, hey, here's the bedroom that I'm working on this week. And then here's the after bedroom picture. And these are the things that I donated. And then we like to take a picture of us at the station where you're dropping the stuff off, or if it's like at one of those great big trailers or a drop box where you're not going inside and like, oh, I just got rid of something. Now I have room to buy new stuff. Or like, don't go inside, stay outside at the trailer and donate the stuff and then leave because the goal for that week was to try to get rid of the excess stuff that you're not using. But on Saturdays, we like to do a lot of before and after pictures. So if you are decluttering your closets and this week you're working on coats, take pictures. Take pictures of the coats that you donate and post them inside our Facebook group on Saturday. And I don't have a link. Maybe I can look up a link and leave a link. I will leave a link in the show notes to the Hoarding World Facebook group if you're not already a member, because that's a really great group that we do talk during the week, and we high five each other and we support each other, and we do before and after pictures on Saturdays after we've made our donations. So if you need an accountability partner, come on over and join us. And this is kind of a wrap for today. Rita and Sally, thank you for joining us live on camera. For those of the rest of you that want to join us live on camera, we always add a link in case you want to jump up here and show us the stuff that you're working on. You can also leave links in the notes below about topics that you want to cover next time, because we're going to be here Thursday next week, same time, same place. Rita, do you have anything that you want to close out with us for today?
No, just that when I get home, I'm going to take a look at my coat closet.
Awesome. Please report back to us and let us know how that works out for you.
Yep, I will.
And Sally, how about you? Do you have any words of
Yes.
wisdom?
Yeah, same thing. Go back, try out the closet one by one, like how you do, and then donate some, and clear out the closet. Yeah.
I'm very curious to know. You said you were going to talk to your kids about whether or not they want those coats from 20 years ago.
Yes.
I'm really curious to hear the end of that. I know that you've been fantastic about going through some of your stuff. You got rid of some nail polish a couple of weeks ago, and you've also been hanging right there in there with us. Can I hold you accountable to your 20-year-old coats?
Oh yeah. Yes. I'll post after I donate it. I'll post it in the Hoarding World so you can look at it. Yeah.
Okay, because I think I heard you say that it's like 20 years old and you haven't worn it in
Oh, yeah.
years. Is that
Yes.
did I hear that right?
Yes, it's true.
So is it safe to assume that you may not ever wear it again?
Oh, definitely. I don't think so. I'm gonna move again, and then like I say, it's just layering, and it's a fit warm coat. So no, I would donate it. I'll ask my kids first, then let's see what they say, and then get rid of it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna follow up with you on that. For me today, I'm getting rid of 6 to 10 coats, and I will let you guys know what my husband decides on the coats that I pulled out for him. And again, I'm not getting rid of any of his coats without his permission, because I don't want to create sadness if he had emotional attachments to any of those coats, right? I don't want to get rid of his stuff without him knowing it. I want to include him in the process, and I don't want him to feel any pressure or that I'm judging him if he decides to keep them. And so it is possible that in the empty closet that we created that only has 5 or 6 hanging coats in there, it is possible that all of the coats that I pulled out and I set aside for him go back inside that closet. And I'm okay with that. I just want to throw that out there. I'm okay if that is the decision. But I know for me, the coats that I personally am authorized to get rid of are coats that either came into my life as a gift that someone gave to me, or it was a coat that belonged to me at one point that I said, I'm done with this coat. I'm not using this for that purpose of my life anymore. And so now I'm going to let that go. And that's 5 or 6 coats that I know of today, and 2 reflective vests. So I'm going to give myself a high five. This is awesome. Sally, I'm really excited that you joined us today, and I'm going to hold you accountable to your 20-year-old coat. And Rita, I'm going to challenge you on that. Did you say it was a purple puffy coat with fur?
Yes, yeah.
If it's been that old, it's possible that the fur either needs to be dry cleaned or just sent on its way. And so I'm going to encourage you as well to make a decision about that. If you decide to keep it, that's still a decision. But I want you to have a conversation with yourself right now in the middle of July when it's hot outside, and decide if you are going to keep it or if you're going to let it go. And then report back to us and give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or let us know.
Yep, I'll let you know next week.
Okay, awesome. All right, you guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll meet here again, same time, same place next week.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.